What's up, otakus? Happy Juneteenth weekend. It's you know, a long weekend for some people. It is a long weekend for me, and so yeah. I hope everybody enjoys. Had a great week first of all, and then enjoys the weekend off, and really gets to spend time with family and friends and people close to you. We have another comic haul to go over. Now, I've had a series of hauls this month. Actually, a series of hauls this year, and I was getting around to a video to do my top 22 comic book hauls of the first half. I haven't gotten around to posting it, but I have prepared that list, so hopefully that will go out. I know I'm a little late, but yeah, we're gonna get to some books. And now the really cool thing about this haul is we have 6 books. We'll get into what they are and how much I spent. But this haul is probably the best value, and that's really saying a lot, because I'm just coming off my last haul that was the best value, in terms of the value I got per book. That's how I measure, the haul. It's not necessarily how many books I get, but how much value I get per book. And so that can vary for a lot of things, but oftentimes it's a good measure of, exactly the kind of deal you're getting. Because oftentimes, you buy a key book over like a bulk order. Really depends on how much value you're getting for each book. If you're just, if you pay 25 cents a book in a haul, but only get like $1 value out of it, that's not a good return. So you really want to look at how much you're getting per book. The higher the amount, the more value. So again, this is a 6-book haul. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're back, and like I said, I spent a little over $7, about $7.45 on 6 comics, and we'll go over what those are. So if you just based on the haul itself, I paid about $1.25 per book. So yeah, we'll go over what the books are. We'll start with, of course, as you know, the half-price books at my location, they don't charge for a free comic. So whenever there's a free comic and I'm getting something, I'll be able to pick up it for free. And what's nice is, like, I have this book. I got this book for half off of cover before. This is about a $15 book. First Harley Quinn, the volume 2. But when you can pick it up for free, the same issue, but this is the free comic book day version, and it's actually looks like it came out around Halloween, so Halloween Comic Fest version, or maybe it's just a Halloween themed book, but it's a free comic, same great cover, and yeah, just thought I'd pick it up since it was there. Not sure what the value on this one is, because it's free. I'm sure it's maybe has a larger print count, or it counts as like a second or third printing, so it's not going to be as much, but just happy to add that to my collection. So I got a free book. Doesn't really count. I guess you could say I paid $7.45 for 5 books, but either way, we got a lot of value out of this haul. So moving on, yes, I was able to pick up my very first art germ cover, and I've been focused on the artists that I'm trying to pick up
I mean, I'm talking about the the contemporary artists that are in the cover game right now. So, I'm talking about John Boy Myers. I'm talking about David Nakayama. I'm talking about, a lot of them are Asian, right? Peach Momoko. And of course, like Adam Hughes, Scotty Young, and you can't leave off that list Archer, Stanley Lau. And I think this is more of a generational thing, but Michelle Pfeiffer. I tried to do a purr there. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is the iconic Catwoman of my generation. Because, I mean, prior to Michelle Pfeiffer, it was, the Batman 60s Adam West television show where you had Eartha Kitt and I forget the other one, Barbara, what's her name? Anyway, there were two Catwomen, and they were great. They were great characters, actresses, and I think they were the mold for Catwoman prior to Michelle Pfeiffer coming along in the 90s. And so, again, collecting during the 90s, have a lot of 90s nostalgia. And this cover by Stanley, like, look over here at Catwoman's eyes. Yeah, green eyes. And so I have a black cat at home. Her name's Noir. She's our pet. So our pet is a black cat with green eyes. And so this cover just, I had to get it when I saw it. Now it was, I think the priciest book in this haul in terms of what I paid. It was $250, half of $4.99, so $250 I paid for this book. But again, just a great homage to the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. You got that nice stitched suit. She's looking herself. Green eyes. Beautiful. Yeah, just a beautiful cover. And you know what? I have. I think that's one of the collateral benefits of collecting Batman. You end up with a lot of Catwoman covers or Catwoman stories, and so I feel confident now, especially after this haul, to go into like a best Catwoman covers in my collection video, and maybe I'll post that up soon. But there's another book that will cover that may end up being the best Catwoman cover in my haul. But yes, very happy to pick this up again. The Archer variant to Catwoman number 15. Got this for $250. Near mint book. Just a beautiful cover. This is a cover by. Just a beautiful cover. All right, moving on. We've got Elektra. This has just been a female-themed comic haul, hasn't it, so far? For those of you who follow my channel, you know I am a Daredevil fan. I collect Daredevil, not fervently, because I'm just trying to pick up, the Frank Miller run, and things related to the Frank Miller run, like Elektra. And Elektra was the archetype for the Psylocke redesign, the Psylocke costume, and her concept, I think, originally. That's my theory, but I mean, these costumes and characters are very similar. And Elektra was kind of popping up in popularity again in the 90s. And she's always been. So this is Elektra, really the first ongoing series, back in 96. And this is just a great. So this is the variant cover to Elektra number 1. This is the more, I guess, rare version of the one covers, and just a great cover by Mike Deodato Jr. She's just busting out with her size, attacking these ninjas, and picked this up for $1. Yeah, $1. Again, this isn't. It's about, I would say it's about a $10 book. But again, I love the character. It's a key issue and a variant cover to boot. So happy to have picked this up for $1. Now remember, when I go to my comic hauls, I don't know what I'm gonna pick up. I'm just going there and digging, and I've actually left a lot of good stuff right now at half price books, because I have about $8 left in my budget this month, and I'm trying to save that $8 for going to Ancient Comics. I'm going to pick up a bunch of quarter books there, like 25-cent bin books. So I'm kind of trying to save that for that haul, and also I'm planning, after the Ancient Comics run, actually I have about $9. I take that back. So after the Ancient Comics run, what I'll try to do is I'll try to hit up Mill Geek, go through their 50-cent bins, and then if we have any money left over, I'll consolidate that with next month's budget. And there's a big sort of stack of Detective Comics books that I want to get, and so hopefully I can get that early next month if everything works out to plan. Now I may end up spending or just blowing it on something. I may just end up spending it all at Ancient Comics, but that's the plan. I'm trying to come back with some money. And the Ancient Comics is really going to be focused. Unless I find like a super big key for 25 cents, I'm going to try to keep it focused to strictly Jim Lee stuff, like Image Jim Lee stuff. Image McFarlane, Image Jim Lee, Image Mark Silvestri, that Image crew, that 90s Image comic stuff, like number ones, key issues, and that sort of thing. Okay, so the next book I picked up, this was a book that I read back in the day, and it was like the hottest book as I was getting out of collecting. So I think my last year in collecting was like 97. And this book came out right around that time, and it was just the hottest book. It was like the thing that everybody wanted to collect. Because I was collecting XMen back then, it definitely was a book I bought and read, and wanted to get this copy back in my collection, and I was able to find it finally for $1. And this is the the newsstand edition, which is like, so if this was the if this were the newsstand edition, sorry, I keep mixing them up. If this were the direct edition, this would, go for about $25. But because especially because it's a 96 copy, so 95, anything 95, 96, we're talking about really newsstands being just very, in terms of the ratio, being something like 10-1, right? So, this newsstand edition of a mid-90s book is going to be about 4 times the value of the direct editions. So, especially the higher grade it is. Now, this is high grade. I would say I would put it at an 8.5 because it's got some spine ticks, and it could really use the benefit of a press. But overall, it's in great condition, and this is the first Onslaught. At some point, Onslaught it will come to an X-Men movie. Like they're gonna get around to it eventually. So when X-Men, anyway, it's a key book. It's a key enemy. Onslaught is basically evil Professor X. I think he's actually back in the comics. They reintroduced Onslaught. So this book is spiking, and again, whenever we get around to an Onslaught movie being announced, which we don't know when, but it's coming. This will be a really, really key book, and it's just a great cover in the clutches of Onslaught. You got Jean Grey there. Okay, so yeah, we're getting a lot of great value. So this is I won't put this at $100. I'm just gonna put its value at around 50. Let's say it's 50, which is very, I think being very conservative, because again, I think this is actually closer to $100 than it would be 50, but let's just say it's 50. Okay, so great pickup for $1. All right, so this is really I think, in terms of emotional connection to a book, in terms of PC, when we talk about what we want in our PC, what we're within the realms of what we're collecting, who we're collecting, what we're collecting. This ticks off all the boxes. Bronze Age. It's a Romita cover, Romita Spider-Man cover at that. It's Spider-Man. It's movie themed. It's an homage cover to the Jaws poster, and I just love it. So again, I did some cleaning and some kind of, I guess, some just TLC. I give some TLC to the book, and we'll get into that right now. We found another great comic. In fact, I think that, and really what I'm doing here now is, because I know it can, and so on a great cover like this, I just wanted to feature the binding portion of the book, staple binding. Okay, so we're back, and yeah, like I mentioned, I put this grade at about I would say a 4 or 5. Yeah, maybe a 4, maybe a 4 or 5, or maybe just that solid 5, I guess. There are just some minor tears, minor creases, but overall, there's that stain. So the staining is what I think would bring it down to a 4, 5, or 4. If it were just without stains and just with the spine what it is and the little tears, I would put it at a 5. But because of the staining here, and there's a water stain on the inside like I showed, I would say it's closer to a 4 then. But anyway, presents beautifully. Just an amazing book. Amazing. I'm just so happy to have this in the collection. Okay, now to the big book of the haul. The big book. And I mentioned I just got my first Artgerm cover. And Artgerm, somebody I think is doing a great job, but they're not people, he's not an artist I actively collect. And I am actively collecting Romita Senior, but Romita Senior books are just so expensive. It's hard to, it's hard to pick them up. You got to get lucky, on this one, where you can pick up Bronze Age Romita Senior Spider-Man book for $1. I mean, you're just never going to run across those opportunities. But when you do, you take advantage of them. And so I've been focused in that sense, of like prioritizing them on my hunts to look out for them. Because I run into a lot of things where I have to make a decision: do I pick it up or no? And I have to resist the urge to buy things that I really aren't focused in terms of my collecting. I have to resist the urge. Like for example, a churn. These kinds of artists aren't necessarily on my radar, but when I see a cover like the one I showed you earlier, or if we run into a book like the one I'm going to show you now, where there's great value and it's really a beautiful cover, you have to pick it up. And so I was able to pick this up for half of cover price, and that is Catwoman 51, the Adam Hughes cover. And this is just a beautiful cover. It's really like photorealistic. It's a photorealistic cover almost, but of course it's illustrated. It has all the stylings of Adam Hughes, what makes him popular. And again, prior to getting this comic, this is my first Adam Hughes cover, and I gotta say, I think he is a great artist. Yeah, I'm very impressed by, especially now that I've been able to kind of see all the detail on the cover in his work. Because oftentimes you see this on like a computer screen or something, and you don't get the full effect of how detailed the cover and the artwork is. But this is just beautiful. Her mascara running. She's in that. She basically holding the police. She's getting booked, right? That's her police photo there. So yeah, again, what do we pay? I paid $1.25 for this. This is $100, well over $100 book. I think it books at like $145, somewhere around there. And it does have its issues. There are maybe three spine ticks along the spine there, and but otherwise just beautiful in terms of the condition. Just a couple spine ticks, sharp corners, still a very modern looking book, no creases or anything like that. So just a high grade copy. Again, with a press, this is definitely in the 9.0 range. I would put it at like 9.0. Could be higher, but beautiful, just beautiful. And she kind of looks like Winona Ryder in this cover. I don't know if that's who Hughes was going for, the effect he was going for, but just a beautiful cover. So man, yeah, we got a lot of value out of this one. Basically, I paid $7, so let's do the math here real quick. Let's just put this at 150, 20, we're at 175, 225, 235, 240, and I'll just put this at, I'll say it, we just won't count this, so $240. That definitely makes this the most valued comic haul of the year. I wouldn't put this as the best comic book haul of the year. Again, I'm going to reserve that for what's currently at number one, sort of my George Perez and Neil Adams pickups from earlier in the year, but this is up there in terms of value. So again, 240 divided by 6 books, we're talking about like a $40, so minus what I paid, okay. which is $1.25 per book. This is a value of $38.75 per book in this haul. That value is even higher if I take this free book out, among 5 books. So that value becomes, in fact, why don't we do that? Let's calculate it for 5 books. Again, that haul, $12 per book value, $12 value per book in that haul. This haul blows that amount out of the water. Again, $46.50 value per book in the haul. And of course, the majority of that value is coming from these 2 books, but these aren't too shabby either in terms of adds to the collection. They're all books that are on. These 2 are definitely on my want list. This one, kind of, just one of those things. If you run across it, you pick it up. I did admire it when I saw this variant cover, because I think there was news like Michelle Pfeiffer would be reprising her role or something on social media, or she did a post where she was like cracking the whip, wearing the costume and whatnot. So they featured this book, and I thought, man, that's a beautiful book. I'd like to get that someday if I ever had an opportunity. And lo and behold, the book came across my path, so I picked it up. So it's definitely, all of these are Unmyeong pickups. But definitely I think these 3 are the Unmyeong pickups. Just, man, my first Adam Hughes book is a big one, so happy to add that to my collection. Let me know what you think of the haul. But thank you for watching, and again, I just appreciate all the support. Again, shout out to Alex, shout out to Prime, shout out to Naman, shout out to all the wonderful people whom I've connected with recently. And Jay, also Jay. Jay, let me know if you want this book, because I know you and I have been involved in trade talks. But let me know if you want this book. It's a nice book. I don't know if you have it or not. You probably have it. Jay has everything. It's like it's when you try to trade with somebody who has everything, it doesn't make for good negotiations. But anyway, happy to add this. Just a beautiful cover. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and thank you for all your support.